So, welcome to Taking Up the Wall. My name is Shaheen and this is Hoop Dream Retreat 2017. I'm like, Kawi! Oh! Okay, so the first trick we learned is that we're going to learn to do an isolation leading with your pinky on your non-dominant hand. This can be done both ways. Personally, I just chose to do it with my non-dominant hand to teach for this workshop. And the first one is the linear drag versus isolation is what we did. And with our right hand, the yellow hoop in my right hand, we started at 6 o'clock. We went to 3 o'clock. We dragged it across to 9. 6, 3, 9. Then we brought in the other hoop. All we did was to drill it, was to negotiate that space. So we held this in front of us, we went 6, behind the hoop, right hand coming behind the hoop at 6 o'clock, going to 3 o'clock or 9 respectively, and dragging across the front of the hoop to 9. Coming back at 6, 3, 9. Once we were comfortable with dragging that practice, we started with our isolation. So we started our hands at 9 and 3, always check in with yourself if this is your isolation. Hands together at 9 and 3. We isolated, thumbs facing down, right hand goes across the hoop with the isolation, thumbs facing up. Bringing them right hand falling behind the hoop. Try to keep your wrists together. We meet at 9 and 3 with our thumbs facing down. Isolate and drag, and meeting at 9 and 3 respectively on the other side. Then we took our cat eye, which you guys should have a recap with in the clocks workshop. And we did the exact same thing. We held our middle hoop at like 9 o'clock, and our cat eye, we'd do a cat eye at right hand at the back, passing my center hoop through the back, hitting 12 o'clock, and coming down through the front. Coming up the back, coming down, making sure that our hands are symmetrical at those points. Lining up, lining up. Then once we to add back and checking in again, checking in with our isolation. How we did the two together was, I like to start like this, bring it in, cat eye all the way to the top, isolate to meet, cat eye and isolation together, keeping the hands together, allowing your cat eye to bounce, and coming up the front. Coming up behind the hoop. Let me repeat that one, that was a bad one. Okay, we're going to go up to 12. As we get to the top, our right hand on my yellow hoop is passing down the front of the center hoop, and as it gets to the bottom, it drops and it comes up behind the hoop, completing the cat eye. Keeping the wrist together, and when we speed it up, we get this really, really nice floaty illusion.
And don't forget to, when your cat eye at the bottom, to go across, keep it in that straight line.
Yeah, so to avoid this from happening, is really move your right hand there, as she said, across. Then we did a 3-petal anti-spin. You can choose whatever flower you had, but to combine that with our isolation. And these are called isolation hybrids. So for the isolation, what we did was we practiced our petal. We kept the center hoop still again to practice. We started in this point at about 7 o'clock-ish, 4 o'clock. And our hoop would pass, our right hand would pass behind the center hoop as it comes across. And it would reach that point, and we'd anti-spin to 12 o'clock. Anti-spin back down, and then come behind the hoop, anti-spin in the front of the center hoop, coming down in the center hoop, and the only time it passed behind was when we were coming across. That was the only time that the right hand passed behind the hoop. When we added the isolation to that, we started again, always checking with this. This never changes, this is your base. Hands together, we isolated, came across, the hands met, we isolated together to hit the 12 o'clock point, and we isolated, keeping the wrist together. My right hand would come behind the center hoop, and it would anti-spin in the front of the hoop to 12 o'clock, anti-spin down the front of the hoop back to its 4 o'clock point, and the only time it would come, again, is behind the hoop. That's sped up, look, something like this. Really good question, or somebody asked, do I grab each point? Yes, I grab each point, just to keep the neatness and the symmetry of this, of your flower. And then you have to do this that? Yeah.
So for the fold sequence, I did it this way. So left hand does a fold from 3 to 9, 9 to 3, this one. And the right hand does a quarter isolation, bringing it, so 9 to 3. Right hand does a quarter isolation to 6. Okay, so we do it at the same time. Boom. And then left hand does a thumb spin, and right hand does a fold from 6 to 12. So again at the same time. Boom, boom. And then the last one, this one, right hand pushes down to 6 as left hand isolates in to meet it at 6. So all together goes fold, that's step 1, step 2, step 3. So once you get to step 3, you swing it into this, keep your hands stuck together, isolating the bottom half of your left hand.
Your 9 to 9.
So remember that when you're here, you want to push down straight into the swing.
And isolate to 9 and 3 ashes then to keep your symmetry.
9, 3, bottom half. And then you can stop at this point. So my thumbs are facing away from each other. And I'm going to isolate my left hand, which is the silver hoop, and fold my right hand to meet at 3.
9 and 3.
9 and 3 is the point. And then thumbs are facing up. And here, the reason why it's important to step into it is because you need to keep your left hand in this blueprint spot. So I step into it so that I'm stepping into the isolation. And as I step into it, my left hand isolates, my right hand steers down and goes in front of me. So one hoop is in front, one hoop is behind, and I'm meeting at 12. Okay? And then I continue isolating my left hand, and I push my right hand out to meet at 9 or 3, and thumbs are down. And to finish it off, continue isolating the left and fold the right, and we're back at the beginning. So I'll just do it in one motion so you guys can have it on your record. So we're going back to the center. Okay? Now is it? Sequence. Boom, boom. Stop.
Thank you.